Welcome back to Booze and the Rocks. My name is David Edwards, and today I'm going to use one of these and some of this to show you how to have a screaming orgasm. But first, this. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go back to the 80s, where everything was neon. There was leather everywhere, spikes on your jackets, mohawks that were awesome. We had hair metal bands. We had great hard rock and heavy metal coming out. And you know what? All the cocktails at that time were coming out with names that suggested some form of sexual innuendo. So today for you, we're gonna make the screaming orgasm. It's not just the orgasm, but the screaming orgasm, because what other kind of orgasm should there be? So the first thing, of course, I need is my shaking glass. Now, this is a simple cocktail. Everything is the exact same ratio. So we're gonna start here with a little bit of vodka, and I've got Finlandia vodka, and we're gonna use 1.25 ounces, which is 37 milliliters. Now our next stop on the way is a coffee liqueur, and we're gonna use a little bit of Kahlua for that. And hopefully I've got enough here in the bottle. But again, another 1.25 ounces, which works out to, of course, as you know, 37 milliliters. So now we're gonna sweeten things up a little bit. We're gonna use a little bit of Amaretto. We're gonna use Luxardo Amaretto. And the original recipe called for a Disaronno, but this is what I happen to have and I have available to me. And again, we need another 1.25 ounces. Oops. But now it's going to start getting creamier. We need to use an Irish cream whiskey. And a lot of people use Bailey's, but I prefer a Gretzky's cream whiskey. And we're going to use 1.25 ounces, 37 milliliters as well. Now, you're going to use two other types of dairy. So the first dairy that we're going to use is we're going to use a half and half. And that's approximately 10 to 12% of a fat content. Now this says 10, which is okay. Normally for a lot of cocktails, I prefer whipping cream because it gives me a heavier 35%, but for this is slightly different. And again, 1.25 ounces. Now next and last, we need 2% milk. And this is how you can tell I live in Canada, I'm from Ontario. We have bagged milk. And we're using a 2% milk here, and again, we're gonna use 1.25 ounces. Looking good so far, it gives me a nice muddy-like exterior. But here I've got my shaking glass, and I'm gonna use a little bit of ice to shake this with. And we're gonna shake this nice and hard for a good 10 to 15 seconds. All right, it's looking good. But what we're gonna do, and we're gonna serve this, now you could serve this in a tumbler or something, but I'm gonna use a hurricane glass. And we're gonna start this with a good chunk of crushed ice. And you know what? I'm not even gonna strain this. And we're gonna give this a little bit more crushed ice. But you know what? Now we need a garnish. It looks pretty, it looks tasty, and this is where the cream comes in. Because every once in a while you need to get experimental. And of course we need our cherry, because it's always better with a cherry on top. Look at that. Oh, it's sinking a little bit. I need a bit more ice. So just because I'm going to use a straw, I'm going to use one of my stainless steel straws here. Let's see how it tastes. that is good. Damn it, I got ice in there. That's no good. Here, mustache and all. Oh yeah. Definitely give that to your other half, because that's real close to a screaming orgasm. You can guarantee that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the method of how to make this in the description down below with the ingredients. If this is your first time to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification. That way, every time we place a new video, you'll be notified. But if you don't like whipped cream and cherries, or a shed ton of alcohol that tastes great together, like I mean really good together, hit the thumbs down button twice. And we'll see you next time. Now the Screaming Orgasm is one of those drinks from the 80s that was filled nothing within you. The Screaming Orgasm. All right, so I am going to make this in some way that... So the first thing we're gonna need is not that.